Alimony. It's more complicated than you think. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Now I know what you're thinking. Alimony? That sounds about as much fun as a root canal on Valentine's Day. And you're not wrong, it's not exactly the most thrilling topic, but, and this is a big but, a recent Supreme Court ruling just shook things up in the world of alimony, particularly in response to a tragic techie suicide case. Now, I'm not saying this ruling is going to make alimony the life of the party, but it's important. These new guidelines are designed to make the whole process of deciding who gets what, and more importantly, why, a little fairer. We're talking about real lives here, people, lives that have been intertwined, for better or worse, and now need to be carefully untangled with as little carnage as possible. So buckle up, grab your gavel, because we're about to break down these crucial factors, one by one. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be able to hold your own in any alimony-related conversation. You might even impress your friends, or at least, not bore them to tears. In a landmark decision, the Supreme Court has laid down new factors for deciding alimony, especially in light of a recent techie suicide case. Let's break down these crucial factors. Needs of the wife and children. Because diapers aren't free first up, we're talking about the reasonable needs of the wife and any children involved. And before you start yelling about gender equality, and I know some of you are already reaching for your keyboards, let's be clear. This isn't about giving someone a free ride. It's about recognizing that divorce often hits one party harder than the other, especially when kids are involved. The court will consider things like housing, food, education, healthcare, basically all the essentials. Think of it as building a safety net, not a golden hammock. The goal is to ensure that the spouse who is less financially secure, often the wife, isn't left drowning in debt while the other sips margaritas on a beach somewhere. That, my friends, is just bad form. Qualifications and employment. It's called a resume, look it up. Next up, we're diving into the qualifications and employment status of both spouses. Because guess what? Gone are the days when one spouse, usually the wife, stayed home while the other, you guessed it, the husband, brought home the bacon. The court wants to know, what skills do you bring to the table? Are you currently employed? Are you actively looking for work? Or are you spending your days perfecting your charcuterie board arrangement? Look, nobody's judging your charcuterie skills here, but the court wants to see effort, initiative, a genuine desire to stand on your own 2 feet financially. Independent income and assets. Show me the money. Here's where things get interesting. The court is also interested in any independent income or assets the wife brings to the table. Did she inherit Aunt Mildred's prized stamp collection? Did she invest in a little startup called Google back in the day? This doesn't mean she's suddenly disqualified from alimony, but it does paint a more complete picture of her financial situation. It's about fairness, remember? We're not trying to punish success here, just ensuring everyone gets a fair shake. Chapter 4. Now let's talk lifestyle. Specifically, the lifestyle the couple enjoyed during the marriage. Did they summer in the Hamptons and winter in Aspen, or were their vacations more of the let's drive to a different state park variety? The court takes this into account because, and bear with me here, maintaining a certain lifestyle costs money. No, I'm not saying the court expects the alimony payments to fund weekly trips to the opera. But it does recognize that a sudden and drastic drop in living standards can be, well, jarring, to say the least. Chapter 5. Sacrifices made because someone had to keep the tiny humans alive. Hold on to your hats, folks, because this next factor is a big one, sacrifices. And I'm not talking about skipping your favorite Netflix show. I'm talking about the real, tangible sacrifices some spouses, often wives, make for their families. Did she put her career on hold to raise children? Did she move across the country for her partner's job, leaving behind her own support system? These sacrifices matter. They represent a loss of potential income, career advancement, and personal fulfillment. The court recognizes this and factors it into the alimony decision. Chapter 6. Litigation costs. Because lawyers don't come cheap. Let's be honest, lawyers are expensive. They're like the luxury cars of the professional world, impressive but with a hefty price tag. And unfortunately, divorce often involves a lot of legal wrangling, which means racking up those billable hours like it's nobody's business. The court understands this, especially for spouses who are not currently employed. So, when determining alimony, they consider those legal fees. After all, how can you fight for a fair settlement if you can't even afford to show up to the fight? Chapter 7. Husbands' finances. Time to open up those bank statements. Last but not least, we come to the husband's financial situation. Don't worry, gentlemen, this isn't about publicly shaming you for that questionable sports car purchase. It's about getting a clear picture of your income, assets, and yes, even those pesky liabilities. The court needs to determine how much you can reasonably contribute without pushing you to the brink of financial ruin. Remember, the goal here isn't to create a winner and a loser. It's about finding a solution that's fair, equitable, and allows both parties to move forward with their lives. So, there you have it, the Supreme Court's new alimony guidelines in all their nuanced glory. It's a complex issue, no doubt, but hopefully this breakdown has shed some light on the factors at play. Remember, this isn't about punishing anyone or handing out free passes. It's about ensuring a just and equitable outcome for everyone involved. These new guidelines reflect the evolving dynamics of modern marriages, where both partners often contribute financially and make personal sacrifices for the family. It's about recognizing that divorce has far-reaching consequences, both emotional and financial, and that, my friends, is something worth fighting for. Stay informed, stay empowered, and as always, thanks for watching.